Hey everyone, as you may have heard, on June 14th, there was some laws that were passed. It was the the Tenant Protection Act of 2019 that was signed into law by Andrew Cuomo. And it affects all landlords in New York State. One thing I have to say is, first of all, if you review these laws and contemplate their implications, they are disastrous for housing in upstate and Western New York. But I have to say, this is our fault. This is absolutely our fault. While we've been keeping our heads down, focusing on running our businesses and revitalizing housing inventory in our communities, someone else has been controlling the narrative of housing in Western and Upstate New York. The tenants' unions have been strong and very well organized, and consistently painting their picture of housing to Albany. To exacerbate the negative image of investors and developers further, we have the countless stories like those of Peter Hungerford and Rochester Asset Management that have been used as powerful ammunition in their fight. Rochester and other upstate cities are not controlled by unscrupulous landlords, contrary to what they say. Many of us use real estate to build long-term wealth for our families or as an alternative to Wall Street products in our retirement planning, as well as a vehicle to pay for our children's college education, etc. Most of us are responsible, ethical, and hardworking landlords who take care of their properties and fulfill the incredibly important need for safe, affordable, quality housing in our communities. When we stay silent, we lose control over the narrative and policies that get enacted, just like the ones that happened on June 14th. Which, by the way, are going to disproportionately hurt those it was intended to protect. And it already has. I'll give you an example. We own property in primarily white neighborhoods like Park Avenue, South Wedge, North Whitten Village. I just had a young lady recently who applied for one of our apartments. She was gainfully employed, had a decent income, but her credit history was absolutely horrendous. Our screening software denied her application. But I could see that she consistently worked 2 jobs, and I felt that I could take a chance on her where no other landlord would. Now, she had been looking for apartments for a very long time. Normally, I would agree to accept them to the apartment as long as they paid a double security deposit. What this does is it allows us to hedge our downside risk in the event that they default. In these cases of policy exception, our default has about a 50-50 chance of occurring. She said that the double security deposit was doable. I didn't coerce her into doing that. And she was very excited to move out of her chaotic living environment and move into a quote unquote, here's the air quotes here, safe neighborhood. Those were her words. After I learned about these laws, I had to cancel her application. This is how these laws inadvertently affect both low and high income areas and the people who reside and own property in both. Furthermore, this new law affects the flow of investment capital across all real estate asset classes. Private investment capital will steer away from where it's desperately needed in affordable workforce housing and instead flow to asset classes like self-storage, office, retail, luxury apartment housing. We all love that in Rochester right now. Or out of the state entirely. We've been talking about it for a long time, but it's time for us to stop talking and to start walking and to take action and assemble a landlord coalition to represent Western and Upstate New York. Downstate has been affecting us for too long. We need a voice. Housing is important. And these laws are a slap in the face and a further indictment against the ease and cost of doing business in New York State. If you're interested in getting involved with the coalition, we are holding an event on the morning of September 10th at Turning Stone Resort. I encourage you to spread the word for us and save upstate housing. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Bye now.